Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals. Alright, so today I'm going to be mixing Snoop Dogg's wine with Coke, and then after that, I'm gonna be drinking it, which as a whole, I am quite excited to do, because recently I tried Snoop Dogg's wine for the first time. It wasn't anything crazy, but I found it to be quite decent. And when I was drinking it for the very first time, one thought crossed my mind, that this wine would be pretty good when combined with Coca-Cola. And so as such, I figured, hey, why not test that for the first time today and find out just how the mixture of Snoop Dogg's wine with Coca-Cola actually is live on video. And so as such, well, that's exactly what I'm doing today. That's exactly what this video is all about. And overall, I'm quite excited, not only to find out just how the mixed drink I'm going to be making today is actually going to be, but also to just in general drink some alcohol today, because I want some alcohol and I want a nice cold beverage because it is a bit warm today. It's around about 85 degrees Fahrenheit right now, I do want to say. But I do suppose without further ado, I should probably go ahead and cover everything that I'm going to be using to make the mixed drink for this video today. So, what wine do I have with me today in specific? Well, I have the 19 Crimes Cali Red 2020, which was made in collaboration with Snoop Dogg and which cost me $10.99 for this 750 milliliter bottle, and the wine inside this bottle has an ABV of 13.5%. That's the wine I have with me today. As far as my Coke goes, I have just a normal bottle of American Coca-Cola straight out of the fridge. It's very cold, if I do say so myself. This Coca-Cola right here was made with high fructose corn syrup, and so as such, I'm guessing my drink is probably going to be a little bit sweeter than not. Of course, wine's pretty sweet and Coca-Cola is pretty sweet, so I'm expecting a good amount of sweetness today, no question. But I do suppose without further ado, now I should probably go ahead and grab my glass, and I should probably go ahead and get my bottle of Snoop Dogg wine all opened up, and I should probably go ahead and pour half a glass, fill up the other half with some Coca-Cola, and I should probably go ahead and get to drinking now, shouldn't I? So let's go ahead and get to doing exactly that, I do think. Let's give it a little bit of a smell real quick. Overall, smells pretty good in my personal opinion. Let's go ahead and pour myself half a glass. I'm thinking, how do I want to do this? So let's see. I want to grab a little bit of a thumbnail pouring this, I will acknowledge. Let's see. Can I do it? I think that will do for the first drink. And I'm going to go and try to grab myself another quick thumbnail with the Coca-Cola. Just like that. Got to grab myself a little bit of a thumbnail, you know what I'm saying? Got to do it. Hopefully one of those will do. And now let's go and crack open my bottle of Coca-Cola, and let's go ahead and fill up the rest of my wine glass with some Coca-Cola. I'm looking forward to this drink, not gonna lie, y'all. I want some alcohol, I want some caffeine, I want some sugar, and I want a good mixed drink. And honestly, I have been craving a red wine and Coke for a little bit now. I'm getting more just a little jumbled up. But I've been craving a red wine and Coke, and I'm just realizing that there is a piece of pollen fell into my wine. No, a piece of pollen fell into my wine. I cannot believe this. It is what it is. I got it out though. I got it out. It is pollen season in my local area. I'm glad I noticed that before I poured any Coca-Cola into my glass. Is there anything else in there? I don't think so. I think we're all good. Yeah, let's go ahead. What is that? What is that? Is that another piece? That was a little piece. There is pollen fallen into my glass. I cannot believe that. There's pollen fallen into my glass. The pollen is fallen. You know, there's some good rhymes, not gonna lie. There's some good rhymes. But now that I've gotten all the pollen out of my wine, let's go ahead and pour in some Coca-Cola. And let's go and see how this mixed drink actually is. So, just about 50-50 mixture of red wine and Coca-Cola, I do think. And before I go and take a sip, I'm gonna try to grab myself another thumbnail. Gotta grab some thumbnails, you know what I'm saying? Gotta do it, you know what I'm saying? Gotta do it. So let's see, something like that. Yeah, something like that. And then I'll hold this up like, yeah. And I'll hold this up like that. Perfect. Hopefully one of those will do. Well, now that I've grabbed a thumbnail, and now that I've got my drink poured and gotten everything ready, I'm a little bit out of it, I'm not gonna lie. I'm slightly out of it. Just feeling a little bit tired. I'm not really feeling like I need any alcohol, but I do want some alcohol. So I'm gonna have some alcohol. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get to drinking, and let's go ahead and find out just how the mixture of Snoop Dogg's wine and Coca-Cola actually is for the very first time. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? I could have added a little bit more Coca-Cola into this one, but overall, pretty solid if I do say so myself. Oh yeah, no, that's quite good. Yeah, when I was drinking Snoop Dogg's wine for the first time a little bit ago, a couple days ago, I was thinking in my head, I was like, this stuff would probably be pretty good with some Coca-Cola. And I can say that is absolutely the case. Yeah, Snoop Dogg's wine is pretty dang good when paired with Coca-Cola. Like, it's dry enough and it's got like a chalky enough mouthfeel where when mixed with Coca-Cola, it's not like overwhelmingly sweet by any means kind of thing. I imagine there's some like really super sweet red wines out there that would not be good with Coca-Cola just because they're so sweet. But a more semi-dry wine like the 19 Crimes Cali Red made in collaboration with Snoop Dogg, overall, I gotta admit, it's great with Coca-Cola. Like, the Coca-Cola just does a really good job of mitigating that semi-dryness and just adding a bit of sweetness and a bit of carbonation and a bit of extra flavor to it as a whole. Overall, it was pretty solid. Man, no complaints. And it is absolutely an easy sipper as well. Does Snoop Dogg's wine make for a good wine and Coke? Make for a good red wine and Coke? You know, I'm gonna have to say, it certainly does. It certainly does. I haven't had a red wine and Coke, oh man, in the last couple months. But I do quite like them. I do quite like them. It's not something I have all that often just because of the sheer amount of sugar in a red wine and Coca-Cola mixed drink. But man, when I do have one, I thoroughly enjoy it, and I'm thoroughly enjoying this today. And overall, it's been a good day, I gotta admit. It's like roundabout, I would say, 85 degrees out here right now. Sun's starting to set, or it's going to set in the next couple minutes or so. And overall, it's just pretty nice. Apparently in an hour, it's supposed to rain. It's gotten a little bit cloudy since earlier today, but I don't know. It doesn't really look like it's gonna rain, just looks like it's gotten cloudy to me. What I do know is that earlier was a bit windy, and now the wind is pretty much completely gone away. It's just completely still out here right now. Honestly, making for quite a serene, just experience as a whole, I will admit. And yeah, the buzz is already starting to hit. The buzz is already starting to hit. That 13.5%. You know, it might be nothing crazy compared to Everclear, but when drank in the quantity I'm drinking it in today, yeah, it hits because I just had a little bit more so than not. And as we can see, just taking a look at this bottle, I mean, like, I would have to say I'm over halfway through this bottle so far, like just slightly over halfway through this bottle. Yeah, I'm really not minding the Snoop Dogg wine, I gotta admit, whether it be straight or when mixed in with a Coca-Cola. It really is nothing crazy kind of thing. If you're looking for a wine that has like an insane depth of flavor, it's definitely not going to be for you, but it certainly doesn't taste bad. In fact, I'd say it tastes quite good, and it's just a good sipper as a whole, frankly put. I can't complain, and it's especially good with some Coca-Cola. Yeah. Overall, I think this is my third time ever having a red wine and Coca-Cola. And I'm enjoying it just as much as I enjoyed every other red wine and Coca-Cola I had in the past, kind of thing. I would actually say I'm enjoying this more than one of my previous experiences, because in one of my previous experiences, I was having a red wine that was a little bit sweeter kind of thing, and so when mixed in with Coca-Cola, it was a little bit too sweet. Still good, but a little bit too sweet. But I would actually say the Snoop Dogg wine I have with me today is actually especially good for red wine and Cokes, just because it's not an overly sweet wine. Like, I totally understand why some people may not like the 19 Crimes Cali Red, the Snoop Dogg wine, just because it's not particularly sweet. It is very much a semi-dry, but I like my semi-dries. I like my semi-dry ciders, I like my semi-dry wines, or at least the ones I've tried so far. And overall, I have enjoyed my semi-dries much more so than not. I'm not one for overwhelming sweetness, unless it's a soda, I will acknowledge. And even then, sometimes it could be a bit much. Overwhelming sweetness can be a bit too much for me at times, just in general, frankly put. But yeah, the Snoop Dogg wine, I mean, like, it's not overwhelmingly sweet. It is very much a semi-dry, but then when mixed in with Coca-Cola, it just becomes sweet. Not overwhelmingly sweet, just sweet. And overall, excuse me, pretty good in my personal opinion. Yeah, no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. None at all, none at all. I think I'm gonna go and pour myself another drink, because I'm finishing off this whole bottle of Coca-Cola today. Yes, sir, yes, sir. We're having a little bit of a day drinking sesh towards sunset today. Yeah, only the biggest bottle moves here, you know what I'm saying? That was good, that was good. Let's pour myself another drink. That was honestly very refreshing as well, because it is, as said, a bit warm out here. It's like 85 degrees out here. And just having like a little bit of wine, a little bit of like really nice cold Coca-Cola, honestly, very refreshing. And let's, I think I'm gonna try to, if I can, grab another thumbnail if I want to. There are, however, some gnats flying around this warmth. The gnats are crawling out. I'm not a fan of gnats. Let's, this time around, go with that much. A little bit less wine this time, and I think I'm going to try to add a little bit more Coca-Cola. I think that's kind of my plan, I will admit. So, let's go ahead and do just that. I think I should have enough of Coca-Cola for hopefully 2 more drinks. Well, 1 more drink after this one. This is a deceptively large glass, though. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. It is a deceptively large glass. Like, it doesn't really look that big, but actually it holds a lot. But that means all the more alcohol for me. No complaints. Yeah, overall, in my opinion, excuse me, the flavor of this beverage is very much that of a, I would have to say, semi-dry red wine with Coca-Cola. That's really all that's going on. The 2 tastes, they're separate, but they're also combining quite well, and they go pretty well together in my personal opinion. And overall, the Coca-Cola does a great job of smoothing out the wine. Not that the wine wasn't already smooth, it was already quite smooth, but it does a good job of smoothing it out even more. The flavor overall is just really nice. The smoothness is really good. The sugar is definitely hitting. I'm getting a little bit of caffeine in my system as well. The alcohol is absolutely hitting too. Overall, good tasting, smooth, alcoholic beverage that is absolutely hitting in every regard that I wanted. I wanted a little bit of sugar, I wanted a little bit of caffeine, I wanted a little bit of alcohol, And I'm getting all 3 of those things combined into one today. No complaints on my behalf. No complaints on my behalf. I am glad that I only have 1 bottle of Coca-Cola with me today, though, because if I drank more than 3 of these, I think, honestly, it would just become headache fuel. Just with that much sugar. Because, like, just looking like, this bottle of Coca-Cola has 55 grams of total carbohydrates, and that's 55 grams of added sugar. With this wine having, what is it, 4.6 grams of carbohydrates per 5 fluid ounces, which, I mean, like, this says 750 milliliters, and then 5 fluid ounces. Why are we switching, like, fluid volumetric models mid-bottle? Like, just tell me milliliters. Don't tell me ounces. Tell me milliliters. If the bottle size is in milliliters, I want to hear the serving size in milliliters. If the bottle size in ounces, I want to hear the serving size in ounces kind of thing. I don't need no mixing up or anything like that kind of thing. But this is 16.9 fluid ounces, so I'm just going to have to hazard a guess that I'm probably going to be drinking roughly 16.9 fluid ounces of the 19 Crimes Cali Red as well, which means, wow, this actually has less sugar than I thought, honestly, because 4.6 grams is honestly not that much because that's like 17 grams. Yeah, that's like 17 grams of sugar total for 15 fluid ounces. That's actually not half bad. That's actually really not half bad. That's like, wow, that's actually a lot less than I thought it was going to be. Interesting. Yeah, so total today, I'm going to be drinking like 70 grams of sugar. Any more than that, and I think I would just have a headache for the rest of the night. So I'm glad I'm going to be leaving it at 3. I'm glad I'm just going to be having like 3 drinks today. Like, I'm thoroughly enjoying my drink, and I am absolutely getting a buzz. But leaving it at 3 is going to be the best option for my head. Excuse me. But yeah, no, this is a solid drink. Yeah. Red wine and Cokes in general are pretty dang good. I quite like them. I think they're very solid, frankly put. And Snoop Dogg's red wine with Coca-Cola, very solid as well. Very solid as well. In fact, I would say especially solid because it's a semi-dry. It's not an overly sweet wine. If it was overly sweet, I just don't think it would be as good with Coca-Cola. But because it is a semi-dry, it combines so well with the sweetness of Coca-Cola to make for an overall great mixed drink. So yeah, I would have to say, if you buy a bottle of the Snoop Dogg wine and you end up not liking it for whatever reason, but you don't want to waste the rest of the wine inside, pour some with some Coca-Cola. You might end up liking it like that. That's kind of my personal take. Is this how I'm going to be drinking the rest of the bottle? Possibly, possibly not. It really depends. I enjoy drinking the Snoop Dogg wine straight personally, but I also very much enjoy drinking it with Coca-Cola as well. So really just depends what I'm feeling whenever I decide to finish off the rest of the bottle, I do suppose. I gotta admit, though, I was feeling a bit out of it today. I don't even know if I realized it, but I was feeling a bit out of it at the beginning of this video and through kind of the first drink, but now I'm kind of just feeling right. It had been like 2 hours since the last time I had one of these, and that's probably why. Well, I did have like part of this one before. Okay, yeah, I was about to say, maybe I'm still out of it. It was 2 hours since I had a whole one of these, but I did have like 1/5 of this right before the video. But it just didn't wake me up nearly enough, even though I thought it did. And so, I'm glad I'm having the rest of it now, I will acknowledge. But yeah, I was feeling a little bit out of it. At the very beginning of the video. But I'm feeling a lot better now. Got a little bit of alcohol in my system. And overall, feeling good. No complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. That's a good drink. I'm just chilling, honestly. I'm just chilling. I'm just relaxing. Honestly, I'm gonna put my tripod down, and maybe not that far down. And I'm just gonna sit back and relax and just enjoy my bev. Just enjoy the time. Plane flying over, I guess. There's a plane flying over. I don't know what kind of plane it is, but there's a plane flying over. Gotta admit, yeah, this is solid. This is solid. Red wine and Cokes, they're not something I can have, or they're something I could totally have on a regular basis, but they're not something I let myself have on a regular basis just because of the sheer amount of sugar in them, because there's so much sugar. As said, like 70 grams of sugar today total is what I'm going to be consuming. And according to the back of this bottle, the daily value, so total carbohydrates, that's 20%, but included added sugars is 110%. So total, I'm going to be at like 130% of like my daily value for what I'm supposed to have when it comes to sugar, or added sugar at least. Total carbohydrates, I'll be at like, I guess, 30%. But it's a lot of sugar. There's a lot of sugar in Coca-Cola and in these mixed drinks as a whole. So it's not a mixed drink that I let myself have very often, but I do enjoy having these when I do have them. And I just feel classy. I just feel classy right now, you know. I got the wine glass. I'm buzzed. I got the wine glass that some people would say is not a wine glass. Some people would call this a brandy glass. And while I would say that they're right, I'm going to keep calling this a wine glass for rage bait. I do realize that many people do not consider this to be a wine glass, but this is the closest thing I have to a wine glass, so I'm going to keep using it, and I'm going to keep referring to it as a wine glass. But I just feel classy holding this, frankly put. I just feel classy, you know? Got the fingers on the stem, finger up top for stability. Got one of these in my other hand. You know, I'm feeling classy right now. All I need is a little bit of dark chocolate, and you know, I'll be feeling even more classy. Just thinking though, what is the perceived classiest alcoholic drink there is? What is the perceived classiest alcoholic drink there is? I'm like, wine is up there, but wine can also certainly not be classy as well. And for every alcohol that may be perceived as classy, there is a cheap alternative that may not be classy, kind of thing. For every $1,000 bottle of wine, there's 50 different $10 bottles, kind of thing. But what is just overall, price not even in mind, the classiest alcoholic beverage? Excuse me. Honestly, I think that topic may deserve its own video. But just trying to think off the top of my head, what is the classiest alcoholic beverage there is? Just price not even in consideration. I'm like, brandy is up there. Brandy's definitely up there. Wine, I feel like it's up there as well, but I don't think wine is going to take the cake. I don't think it is. Whiskey's up there, but I don't know. Vodka, nope, not vodka. I could say that, not vodka. I would say because there's different metrics of classiness as well. There's like the old money classy kind of thing, like. But there's different types of old money classy. There's like American old money. There's European old money. And then there's just like classy kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm buzzed to the point where honestly, I really Bro is moving. What is that, a Camaro? Gotta be a V8. Sounded pretty good in my opinion. But I'm pretty buzzed right now. I'm like a solid like 6 or 7 out of 10. Just got y'all with the 6-7, you know what I'm saying? This whole video was a build up for that point. Just kidding, it actually wasn't. That was just off the cuff. 6-7, oh my god. He just said 6-7. 6-7. 6-7. Yo. Y'all ever heard of 21? Y'all ever heard of 6'9"? 69. It's a pretty funny number if I do say so myself, because it's a reference to, oh man, should I say it? It's a reference to 6'9". It's a reference to 69. Ooh, this is a bit rough. But I ain't got no complaints on my behalf. I don't know how much Coke I really have left, so I think I'm gonna pour less wine into this one than the previous ones. And when I say less wine, I don't mean that much less wine, just less wine. That'll do. And excuse me. Oh, that was perfect. That was perfect. Oh my god, if I had poured more wine, I would have had no room for my Coca-Cola. For the rest of my Coca-Cola, that is. That was perfect. No complaints. Let's take a sip of my third drink. Oh yeah, but I got distracted by 6-7 though. I got distracted by 6-7. What is the classiest alcoholic beverage, just in general? Brandy is up there. Cognac is up there. Wine is up there. Whiskey is up there. But I don't know. It's a hard question to answer. It's a very hard question to answer. Because it's all from my personal perception as an American kind of thing. Like, I feel like around the world, there's different beverages that are going to be different levels of classy kind of thing. As said, I mean, like, for every $1,000 bottle of wine, there's 50 $10 bottles. So it's one of those things where there's going to be a possibly non-classy, or at least non-expensive, non-classy alternative to everything. I don't consider myself a classy drinker by any means. I enjoy my alcohol to enjoy my alcohol, but I also enjoy my alcohol to get a buzz, not just for the flavor. But it's hard to say what the classiest alcohol actually is, just due to my own personal perception. Like, if I had to say in my head what I think the classiest alcohol is to me, I'd probably say Japanese whiskey, in specific Japanese whiskey. But only if you're not in Japan. Because if you're in Japan, Japanese whiskey, there's a lot of cheap options. But if you're not in Japan, the only options available are the expensive ones, kind of thing, like the Suntory, Yamazaki, and stuff like that kind of thing. Like, that's a very expensive whiskey that they really try to push the classy marketing with. And that's another thing, like, the whole classy ideals of what an alcohol is all marketing kind of thing. Like, a $10 bottle of wine absolutely can and has been better than a $1,000 bottle of wine before, no question. I mean, like, there's entire wine forums about finding $10 bottles of wine that are better than $1,000 bottles. There's entire threads dedicated to doing that. The fact of the matter is that when it comes to liquor, price is not what defines how good a drink actually is. The marketing is what defines it. I'm speaking right now like I'm having a revelation, but I'm not. Like, I already know that. I just didn't consider it for some reason. But yeah, the marketing is what defines something as being classy or not. And wine has had a huge push in the United States to be perceived as this classy thing. But there's still plenty of non-classy wine kind of thing. I don't know. I would say these days, in my personal opinion at least, the thing that has my personal perception for being the classiest liquor, the classiest alcohol in the US of A is probably Japanese whiskey. Just because there's no non-expensive versions available. Like the cheapest bottle of Japanese whiskey at my local liquor store is $40 kind of thing. And that can't be said for just about any other like liquor. There's $5 bottles of vodka, there's $5 bottles of whiskey, there's $5 bottles of wine, there's $5 bottles of beer. I don't know. It's all marketing. Basically, it's all marketing. Just because something is classy does not mean it's good. Do I think Japanese whiskey is good? I've tried Japanese whiskey before. I think it's pretty solid. I haven't tried expensive Japanese whiskey, but the Japanese whiskey I've had so far has been pretty solid. But what I drank wasn't the classy, quote-unquote, Japanese whiskey. It was just the normal Japanese whiskey. I don't know. To define something as being classy requires a preset image in your mind as to who is drinking it, and that preset image, frankly put, is all marketing. It's all marketing kind of thing. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It really is all marketing. It really is. Whether something is classy or not is just all marketing. Good liquor doesn't have to be classy, quote unquote. There's plenty of amazing liquor out there that isn't classy in any way, shape, or form, but it's great liquor, and it might even be better than a $100 bottle or a $1,000 bottle. But whether something is perceived as classy or not by the populace is defined by the marketing that is put in place by the brand to make people want to buy their product. It's all societal image and marketing, frankly put. So I do suppose, to answer my question as to what the classiest liquor is, I don't really have a good answer, honestly. Like, to my personal perception, it's probably Japanese whiskey. But if you're Japanese, I don't think that would be the answer at all. So I guess my question to y'all is, what's your opinion on what the classiest liquor is? But do keep in mind, and do let me know, do you think it's actually the case that it's actually that classy? Or is it all marketing? Let me know. I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know. How marketing can change our perceptions of a thing, of something, of a product, or of, like a lifestyle, frankly put, because lifestyle marketing is massive kind of thing. And the brand that really set lifestyle marketing into motion was Marlboro. Insanely good marketing. I'm just nerding out about marketing now. I love good ad campaigns. I love good marketing. It's so interesting. And product-based marketing, but especially lifestyle-based marketing, has been insanely influential to, in general, society today. Our perceptions of what is classy and what is not, and what is a luxury good and what is not, is entirely perceived by not only the marketing of the individual product, but also of our perception of who buys that product. And if we perceive somebody who buys a product as being somebody who buys a good quality product, we're automatically going to assume that that product that is being marketed in line with like that type of person is going to be a good quality product. And it's going to be a good product. Like Coach bags and Louis Vuitton bags and Goyard bags, I mean, like, they're not really that great of quality when you actually think about it. The materials, if you actually really use them and you use them, will they last a lifetime? Will they last multiple generations? Maybe they used to, but from what I've heard, not anymore. But that's $1,000 handbag kind of thing. You'd really hope that it would, but probably not. But the perception of it being a luxury product gives it the perception of being high quality, even if it really isn't. I don't know. Oh man, I'm just looking and there's some bats flying around. Oh, that's so sick. It's like during the warmer months in my local area, I see bats flying around like around twilight, because it's about twilight right now. And horrible book series, by the way. But there's bats flying. Yes, they're flying over me. Oh my God, that's so cool. Yeah, bats are so good. Bats are so underrated. People have such a bad perception of bats, but they're really cool. Honestly, bats need better marketing. Like, I've been talking about marketing and stuff like that kind of thing, but bats, they have it hard. People don't like bats just because of the marketing, frankly put. Excuse me. Like, should you approach a bat and like try to pet it? No, it's a wild animal. You shouldn't do that. Can bats carry rabies? Absolutely they can. All mammals can, though. But are bats really cool insect-eating animals that get rid of a lot of mosquitoes and like other annoying bugs in your local area? Yes. Yes, they are. Bats are awesome. I love bats. Bats, they're great at repelling insects. And that is fantastic in my personal opinion. That was really good. But yeah, marketing is such an underrated and I feel like not thought about aspect of our daily lives, because so much of what we perceive as being quality or as being evil is, frankly put, all marketing. A lot of people don't like bats just simply because they have the perception of bats being a blood-sucking, scary animal kind of thing. When the truth of the matter is that 99.9% of bats are just animals that eat insects. They eat mosquitoes and spiders and stuff like that kind of thing. And our perception of different brands really do perceive what we think of them rather than the truth of the matter kind of thing. Like, in my opinion, there's a lot of very inexpensive brands out there who have amazing quality products kind of thing. I mean, like, one of my favorite whiskeys of all time is the Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. You can get a bottle of that for $10 or a 1.75 liter bottle for $35 in my local area. It's not expensive. It's a really cheap whiskey, but it's really dang good. But I feel like a lot of people have the perception that it's not a good whiskey just because it isn't expensive. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But marketing really does have such a huge effect on our personal perception of everything, frankly put. And it's interesting. It's very interesting, and I find it to be just really interesting as a whole. Marketing is really cool. I really enjoy looking at different pieces of marketing with, in the back of my head, the fact that it's marketing, of course. If you see Kim Kardashian walking around with this new brand bag enough, the perception might eventually come that that's a luxury brand. It's Kim Kardashian kind of thing. I don't know. How did I even get on this topic? I don't know. Basically, what I'm trying to say is marketing is really interesting. Marketing changes our perception on things so easily. And marketing is a very powerful thing that is not to be understated. Marketing is very interesting, I will acknowledge. Overall, gotta admit, no complaints on my behalf. Marketing is pretty cool as a whole. And overall, I've had a great time talking about marketing today. And I have had a fantastic time mixing a red wine and Coca-Cola made specifically with Snoop Dogg's wine for the first time. It's been a great time. Does Snoop Dogg's wine make for a good red wine and Coca-Cola? Yeah, I'm going to have to say it does. Frankly put, makes for a great red wine and Coca-Cola, if I do say so myself. This was, without a doubt, a very good experience. The drink was great, and overall, I had a great time today. And overall rating for this mixed drink, I'd give it a very solid 8 out of 10. No complaints on my behalf. Snoop Dogg wine and Coca-Cola was a good drink, if I do say so myself. Yes, sir. Appreciate all y'all watching today's video. If all y'all have enjoyed watching today's video, like, subscribe, of course, and check out everything in the description down below. Appreciate y'all watching today's video. Was there anything else I wanted to mention? Yeah, just like, subscribe, check out everything in the description down below. Yeah, I think that's about it. So until the next one, y'all, stay safe and peace, and have a great one.